Good morning, everybody. And it is a good morning. I'm out for a little morning walk, perhaps making this my new routine. And it's beautiful out. Already in the mid to high 50s, winds are calm. And the only thing that's missing are the early morning clouds shrouding the peaks in the mountain ranges or the low lying fog over the valley. Well, I say missing because they would have been the perfect metaphor for what I'm going to talk to you about today, and that is mysteries of life. Well, mysteries of my life, anyway. Hey, I'm Wolf. I'm a retired physicist and a glide and tailwheel pilot. And when I say mysteries of my life, I mean the biggest mystery of my life, and that is how on earth did I get into flying? When I talked to the pilots I met out on my trip out west on those backcountry trips, one question always came up. It was inevitable. And the question was, how did you get into flying? What brought you here? And in 99.5 of all cases, well, actually, there's no half case, so in 99% of all those conversations, the answer was, well, flying has been in my family forever. My father is an airline pilot. My grandfather served in the Air Force. My uncle is running an agricultural spraying business. A niece is flying a jet for a corporation. A cousin might be an instructor. You name it. And even the family plane, a tail dragger in most of these cases, had been handed down from generation to generation. So it looked like to me this passion for flying has been in their family forever. Now, with me, there was nobody in my family who had anything to do with flying. Well, except there was one uncle 5 times removed who apparently flew Messerschmitt Me-110s during World War II. But in my early childhood, in the mid-50s, nobody in my family talked about the war, flying or not. So how did I get into there? How did this mystery start? Well, actually, my parents told me that when I was 4 years old, I would run into the house looking for cover, hiding under the bed, whenever there was a strange sound coming down from the sky. The deep rumble of the radials of either a DC-6 or a Convair 340, because our house was situated right under the extended downwind for the new Nuremberg airport. And then, from one day to the next, with no rhyme nor reason, my behavior changed completely. Instead of running into the house, I would run clear of trees, clear of the house, to look up and see what's going on, to find out where did the sound come from. Was it this funny four-engined airplane with three vertical tails, or what? Or was it the small biplane that would do acrobatic stuff every once in a while? I wanted to know. That sudden curiosity that nobody could explain would be the basis for my love of flying, for the passion of flying. Because from that moment on, I wanted to become a pilot. I wanted to become a captain for Lufthansa. And that fantasy never left me. At the end of my adolescence, when I had finished high school, I had applied for the cruel 5-day selection process at Lufthansa Flight School. I had passed it only to receive a letter 5 weeks later that would tell me, we don't need you. What a kick in the ball that was. And it took me a long time to recuperate. And during that time, I often asked myself if there was some higher power who felt that flying was not in the stars for me. Flying was not going to be a major part of my life. But then another aspect, another member of those higher powers, an angel, called me up and said, hey, a local glider club is offering a 2-week beginner's encampment during summer vacation. I signed up for it because I felt this was the only chance I had to figure out what that flying thing really was all about. Even though at that time, glider flying seemed more like playing to me. It was not like the real stuff where you would fly those big 4-engine commercial airplanes. But anyway, I signed up, soloed within a couple of days, became a member of the club, and the rest is history. Soaring became my passion. It became the most important pastime of all of my life. Professionally, I became a physicist, but that's a story for a different video maybe. But anyway, wherever my work took me, I always had my glider pilot license with me. I'd be flying in Europe, I flew in North America, I flew in South America, and at one time I was even able to mate my science background with flying activities. That was spectacular. It was really great. But still, this mystery, where it came all from, remained. Now, you might ask me, well, how did Whiskey Blue, how did your Cessna 170 come into the picture? Well, stuff enough for another video. I only mention here that when I was 8 or 9 years old, I read a book. And that book spawned that boyhood dream, which finally bubbled up a couple of years ago and prompted me to buy the 170. So the big mystery of my life, it stayed with me for all of my life. And I'm not regretting it at all because it offered me some of the most memorable moments of my life. And I hope it will keep doing that because it's just a wonderful activity to have. So stay with me, wait for the next couple of videos to find out what else the hobby, the passion of flying did to my life and how I enjoyed it. See you then.